2026 NFL season. The only question you have to ask yourselves as Lions fans is, do you trust Brad right now? Now, the only reason I'm asking is because we've got our legal tampering period's done, free agency begins. Lions just seem to be parting ways with past players, right? So some of us are not mad about it. Some of us respect the strategy of Brad Holmes. Other fans, though, they're upset. They think Brad doesn't know how to run a team. They think Brad is just a scout and not a general manager. Uh, we're going to discuss this tonight. I'm Mark. You're going to get Hermdo. This is the Fan Forum. Make sure you like and subscribe. All right. Well, while we wait for Uncle Hermdo to join us, like as I said in my little cold opener, we have now begun the 2026 NFL season. Now, what that means for Lions fans is a lot, and we're going to get to that tonight. So just sit tight, relax. But what I want from you guys is I want people, especially these opinionated fans, to tell me what you want Brad Holmes to do, right? Okay. I know we're not the team like the Raiders where we have all this crazy cap space and we can win the headlines in free agency. But I want you to tell me who you want Brad to bring in, and the guys that left, do you really want them at that value, right? Is that something that you were willing to pay that person, i.e. Roy Lopez, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? It's a question you have to ask yourself every year because, again, I know some of you Lions fans, you're hurt, right? I've been there before. But look at this team and where we're at, right? Look at how this team's been constructed, past off seasons. What about Brad Holmes tells you he wants to go win the headlines in free agency? And quite honestly, I think that's for teams that have to sell their organization more than they're building a better football team, if that makes any sense, right? So you tell me, though. I want specifics. I don't want Brad sucks, Brad this, Brad can't do this. I want you to tell me, okay, I get it. You think Brad sucks? Well, if you're Brad, what are you going to do, right? Give me a hot take. Don't just be an idiot. So put it in the comments. Tell me what you think. And we're going to get to that. Also, let's talk about draft picks too, guys. I think right now we're sitting on about 8 or 9 draft picks, depending on if you kind of tally up the compensatory picks and all that settles. But I truly think we're excited for Hermdo.
What's going on, man?
What a powerful intro of you just blowing smoke like you're the Undertaker.
What's happening, baby?
Oh, baby. Well, guess what? Listen, this was your idea, right?
Yeah.
You told me, you texted me, we got to get on here and talk. It's the beginning of this. It's beginning of the season. The controversy's high. You have all the whiny ass fans out there. Yes, sir, Mr. Do. Yes, you. All of these bandwagon Lions fans and these Dollar General GMs, and they won't tell me who they want. They won't give me their construction of an offseason, right? You and I have made it clear there's names we like, guys we wanted to bring in. Now, Tyreek Woolen, I'll tell you right now, that was kind of my offseason dream that I wanted at corner, and I'm a little upset that they didn't go out and make him a priority. But listen, we've talked about this before, Hermdo. That's not what Brad does. Brad doesn't win the headlines in free agency.
No, he definitely does not. That's been his MO since day one. It's been 5 years of this where I believe this is 6, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah, that's just he hasn't really had much of a free agent strategy. I mean, he makes solid signings, but nothing that really is going to grab the headlines. He's not bringing in like the 5-star guys here, and it's been a source of frustration for a lot of Lions fans. But that's just kind of the way it is. It also prompts a lot of this. As you go on Twitter, I don't go on Twitter too often, but it's what I do when I see Brad Holmes being brought up, and now we got free agency going on. Soon the draft will be here, and it's a lot of commentary about how he's a scout, he's not a real GM. Yep. We've heard it a million times. We've seen it in our chats and stuff, but I don't want to seem, I'm willing to criticize Brad Holmes and stuff, and you know, I do. Last season was a big disappointment. I don't think it was all his fault, but there's definitely some things to criticize him for. And I don't want to be like a Brad Holmes glazer and a slappy. I want to kind of, I'll keep things in perspective, but I do want to give him fair treatment. I don't want to dismiss him offhand and just like give in to the haters, because the haters, they're always going to be there. They're always going to be there. But yeah, that's for me personally. I grade him on a bit of a curve, but I said before, you've explained it so many times before. I mean, if you're new to the fan forum, maybe you don't know our MO, but me and Mark, we're pretty much Brad Holmes apologists. No, I'm just
We
being
are.
silly, but
No, and we're
in a
not.
way we are.
We are. Okay. Okay, let's be honest. Here's what we are. We're grown men who are realistic about what it does, what it means to be a Lions fan, right? And when you take our sample size of everything we went through before the Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell era, I'm honestly just trying to forget that. Like, this is my new benchmark, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, he calls us Kool-Aid drinkers. He's putting up novels of all of these stats about how Brad Holmes sucks, and right, and get off your Mountain Dew can and your Mountain Dew high horse, bro. But seriously, here's the way I look at it, right? Um,
yeah,
Brad Holmes has been unapologetically consistent, right? He came here in a shirt that just said villain. He's never going to be loved
yeah,
in that sense. So I can respect that, right? What he's done is he's built this team through the draft, right? He's always shown that everybody that he gets and he locks up to an extension ends up being a pretty good deal. Like, if you look at Waymo and what we're paying Jameson Williams right now, compared to what some of these wide receivers this year are making in guaranteed money, it's
yeah,
it's 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 a no brainer, right? So,
yeah, yeah,
my question is, and it's to these fans right here, is what do you want him to do? We weren't going to go overpay for Tyler Lindebaum. That wasn't going to happen, right? We weren't going to go
no,
sign Trey Hendrickson to a $100 million contract, right? But I could tell you this: we were going to
yeah,
restructure Goff, and that happened, right? He's getting rid of and moving on from all the players that I want him to move on from. Pasquale, goodbye. Anzalone at fair market value, dude, this is Jack Campbell's team. And
yeah,
I'm pretty excited about what I saw from Jack Campbell. So why are we concerned about that? Now, from a defensive end standpoint, we're down to basically Aiden Hutchinson and I
yeah,
don't know what, maybe Hitch, right? And thank you for being in the chat, Hitch. But
yeah,
my opinion is we're pissed off at that whole line last year. I want a clear out. I want new guys in. I don't want injured players. I don't want Pascal
yeah,
to sit on the roster anymore. So this is really, to me, a make or break offseason for Brad to retool this team and then show us back in the
yeah,
draft where we've got 8 or 9 picks. Hey, relax, right? But
yeah,
it's yeah, it is what it is. And the truth doesn't hurt
yeah.
because honestly, I've been a Lions fan my whole fucking life. We've been shit on, rightfully so. We've had the worst general managers.
Oh
We've
yeah,
had the worst rosters. This is just me finally getting to enjoy a respectable football team and to have proper
yeah.
expectations, right? And for someone to come on here and
That's
say Roy
true.
Lopez was our best defensive lineman, move on from that. If that's your current situation last year, we need to move on from the Roy Lopez experience. He was supposed to be basically
Yeah,
in the shadows and not anything. So that tells me right there, if Roy Lopez was our best defensive lineman, we have to retool this whole defensive line and he cannot be a part of it. So
yeah,
that's where I'm done being a slappy like these idiots and falling in love with these names that came here and well, they want to play here. It's like, why do you fall in love with these guys if they say, I want to be in Detroit? Like, get over it, dude. Sorry, that was my rant.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I just want to say, we love everyone that watches this show. We love Lions fans. We would like them to subscribe. We don't
Yeah.
want to mean. We don't mean to call you idiots. Mark's just being silly. But
Well,
yeah, it's annoying, and I know we've had conversations about this before, but I'm looking back in like the Millen days, the Mayhew days. Looking back, at some of those early 2000s teams. I mean, all the stuff we heard about, it was just like the sense of a lot of young Lions fans, guys that have just been getting into the team last couple of years, probably Gen Z, maybe even some Gen Alpha people. Mark, you and I are unks. We're
Yeah,
unk, and
we're old heads.
the young guys don't get just the sheer feeling of hopelessness we had during those days. Like the whole Joey Harrington era, that freaking disaster, Charles Rogers, all that shit. Um, you know, Morningwig and Martinelli and all that shit. Guys just quitting on the team, and it was just, I just appreciate what we got now. But that said, I still want to leave the window open. If Brad Holmes fucks something up, then hey, I'll criticize him for it. This is a pivotal offseason. You're
It
coming off
is.
a last place finish in your division. You gotta get it done, Brad. But I'll tell you what,
Well, I'll
let's
tell you
stop
what.
jibba jabbing. Let's get. Oh,
Oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
so you want to get down to the nitty gritty, right? That's what you want to do.
Yeah, yes, I do. Let's begin. Let's do a recap of some of the moves that they've been making, and we'll discuss it as we go. As we all know, our good friend and friend of the show, Taylor Decker, was released.
Yep.
Veteran left tackle Taylor Decker requested his release from the team, and the Lions said, "Okay, get the hell out of here." So that was kind of surprising. I don't know. I mean, he's like an 11-year veteran. I don't know what the future holds for him. I don't know if he has any gas left in the tank, but
Well, and I
thanks
think
for the
some of us
thanks
thought
for
he
the
was going to
memories.
retire
Yeah,
anyway,
just
so
like
thanks for the memories.
yeah, it's not that big of a surprise. But then we have David Montgomery leaving, getting traded to the Texans, and that was kind of a, if you had paid attention last year to like the offense and how they were utilizing David Montgomery, you probably figured he's probably on his way out the door. He only
Yep.
had like 700 yards last year, and you're kind of just thinking to yourself, this guy's probably not going to fit into the scheme. Now we have, basically we got Mike Kafka and Drew Petzing calling the shots. We're gonna roll the dice on Isaiah Pacheco, who's here on a $1.81 million prove it deal from the Chiefs.
Yep.
Chiefs also signed Kenneth Walker, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yep.
yeah,
So he
that
knew
that
his
whole
days were
Pacheco
numbered.
experiment's done in Kansas City.
Well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
here's
So
the way I
it's
look at
just
it.
yeah.
And not to interrupt, but David Montgomery came here to be the
No.
starter, right? Jameer Gibbs was the rookie and was the unknown. So David Montgomery came here because he wanted to
Mm-hmm.
start, and Chicago didn't, veer him as a starter. So the way I look at it is, he came here, he made Gibbs and pushed him to be, and it helped him and elevated him. It was a great time, but Montgomery wants to be a starter again. No surprise. It's a contract year for him, and he does
Yeah.
not want to sit behind probably one of the best future running backs in the league, right? Most explosive. He
Yep.
knows financially and from a career standpoint, it's best to move on. So, yeah, we bring in Pacheco, who is not as bullish, but is faster, right? And now with a guy like Kafka
Mm-hmm.
and what's his face, Petzing, you have an interesting way to
Yes.
say, okay, now you've got these two kind of weapons. We saw what he did in Kansas City. We know what he can do here. It's a very low impact from a financial standpoint. So I like that.
Yeah. Low risk, high reward. So
Yep.
yeah. But so it's a good move. It's a good move. But also, Graham Glasgow, he is gone. They just cut him. So I will raise some questions in the offensive line, but we'll get into that in a minute. And then on defense, as we mentioned before, Alex Anzalone is gone. No surprise there either. This is, like you said, it's Jack Campbell's team, but he is going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a 2-year, $17 million deal. So he got his money. He had some fun with the Lions. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yep.
But yeah, also wide receiver and all-pro return specialist Khalif Raymond left to sign a 1-year deal with the division rival Chicago Bears, reuniting him with former offensive coordinator of the Lions, Ben Johnson. And the Lions also lost cornerback Amik Robinson to the Commanders, and at the previously mentioned defensive lineman Roy Lopez to the Cardinals. The dude seems to think that was a major loss. You and I are kind of like, meh. But
Yeah. I'm not that type of guy that
yeah,
gets upset
yeah.
about Roy Lopez.
No, No, you gotta look big picture. You gotta look big picture. But anyways, but let's talk about Cade Mays, the new center, 3 year, $25 million deal with Ragnow retired and Glasgow
Yep.
cut. We got a new center in town. I looked up his stats up briefly. He's got about a kind of a six. I think it was a 69 Pro Football Focus grade, which is okay. It's solid.
Yeah.
But what did you make of this signing? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Here's the way I look at this, and it comes
Yeah.
down to cost, right? What we paid for what we got. We basically got an upgrade of Glasgow, right? I don't believe we have the
Yeah.
future center of everything, but I feel like you have a solid center that plugs in at the right cost. I said it in this draft.
Okay.
Expect to see top tier offensive linemen brought in, and expect to see them continue to take and draft and kind of evolve their current players like Tate Ratledge, moving Penny to left tackle. But Hermdo,
Yeah.
I don't mean to scare you. There is a special guest in the lobby. Do you want me to bring him in?
Oh boy, who could it possibly be? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely bring him in.
I'm bringing him in. I
Oh shit. Oh shit.
It's the Podfather himself.
Oh. Look who it is. Look, it's the guy that podcasted with me 6 months ago and then lost my number. What's going on, buddy? He's on a potato camera.
I got this unscheduled free time here, but I don't want to disrupt. If I got a bad connection or something, let me know.
Yeah, it's a little shoddy.
There's
but we're just glad to see your
There's
face.
like 3 pixels on the screen.
This is just the best representation.
Oh, I don't know if you heard me. I don't want to disrupt. I wasn't.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for this. I'm on my phone, but if it's too rough, I'll check.
We definitely need you to get some more stable internet connection.
Shit.
You're a little raspy.
Yeah. That's
time...
okay, Hitch. We still love you, buddy.
All right, I'll try to get back on.
All right,
yeah, dude. I'll try to get back on here. Let me do some updates. All right, see ya.
All right, see ya. So he joined us from 1998, guys. He's still got dial-up internet.
Yes, there's our buffering, choppy preview of Hitch, our good buddy Hitch.
Oh, that was great.
Who graced us with his bald head and some cigarette smoke before disconnecting. So
I love it. I love it.
It's like streaming with my dad. It's just the funniest thing. Just like, how do I work this? What do I do? Help
like
me!
Streaming with my dad. Oh my god, that's great.
What do these buttons do? He's got like a camera, like a 2002 freaking like flip phone camera. Jesus Christ! But
I'm just glad he didn't show any skin. He didn't take his shirt off. He didn't. I'm just glad. Hold on, we got to change this setting.
Okay, hopefully he can get a camera made in the last 10 years and join us.
Okay, so anyway, I was talking about Cade Mays.
We're talking about Cade Mays.
The dude comes in and says he's the 33rd best run block in the league last year with a run-happy OC. That'll go well. I knew you were going to bring that Mike Valeni stat up. From what I understand, he's great in pass block. He's okay in run block. Again, he's not the next Frank Ragnow. I'm telling you that right now. That's not who we that's not who we brought him in to be. So when I look at these free agents that they're bringing in, they just seem to be piece guys that are just going to be rotational players. Cade Mays is going to have a nice spot in the line, but I don't think they're saying we're bringing you in to change the world, dude. Again, look back at how Brad Holmes does things. He drafts guys. Brought in Ratledge. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a great draft pick. Ended up grading out really well last year, right? So that's one thing. Yeah, if you want to call him anything and you say he's a scout, it's because he's a general manager who's really good at identifying talent. And that's how you look at the St. Louis or the Rams, and that's how that team got structured to where they could go out towards the end and just make big moves because they had all this in-house talent that they could just pull from. Something we've
Yeah.
never had. So I've never had a general manager as a Lions fan who's actually built a solid foundation with good draft picks, and it's kind of interesting to see. So you got to look at it from that mindset. You cannot look at it as if you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan and you've just came off 2 Super Bowls, right? Or
Yeah.
you're
You mean Eagles?
or I'm sorry, yeah, Philadelphia Eagles fan. But to me, it's just like set your expectations. And again, you tell me who you want. So all these guys that are so particular on what they don't like about Brad Holmes, it's give me something, dude. I can tell you who I want. I can tell you what I think we're gonna do.
Yeah, let's
right?
have. Yeah, I don't.
Anyways,
I mean, let's just be. I don't want to focus too much on the haters. I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but I mean, any suggestions here? Hey, let us know. We can have a discussion about it. If you're watching us right now. Well, first of all, hello and thank you. Yes. But we'd also like to hear your suggestions. Any names you could offer us? Sure, let us know. Let us know. We love the chat. We love Lions fans. Unlike Mark, I'm a lover. He's the hater. But
I'm the hater. Yes.
I'm
very aggressive. So here's what I did, Hermdo. Yes. I actually came up with something, hoping that I could talk about this tonight. Is that let's look at right now what the damage has been done in the NFC North, right? Because I was telling my wife this. She's like, they're just losing everybody. I said, that's the process of free agency. Every team is going through this right now, right? So with the NFC North, I did like a free agency damage ranking so far, right? So coming in at number 1 was the Vikings, right? Most uncertainty and lots of turnover. You've got a team right now with the Vikings where they're looking at Kyler Murray as bringing in right to challenge JJ McCarthy. Excuse me. They just lost Jason Hargrove to the Packers, right? One of their big defensive tackles who's scared the shit out of us. So lots of big names, lots of impact players, but they want to go get paid elsewhere. And then the uncertainty at quarterback. Number 2.
Yep.
Well, we got a big Bears fan in the chat. The Bears. I mean, a lot of their starters, especially on the defense, have hit free agency. Corners, safeties, right? Again, that's what happens. They were a good defense last year. Well, a moderately good defense, but the secondary was pretty talented. But again, you're looking at a corner who just went to the Jets, right? And you're looking at a safety who went here. You're looking at some key pieces that we as Lions fans would be pissed if that was leaving, right? Then you
did they lose DJ Moore too, or is that
they traded DJ Moore? But I think everybody trades DJ Moore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
and then
and then you have Green Bay and then you have Detroit, where it's a lot of our depth pieces that we're hitting and rotational pieces that are hitting the market, right? So that's why I'm so upset when I hear people talk about like, oh, it's almost like you're breaking the band up, right? And it's like, no, the band is Goff, St. Brown, Hutchinson, Gibbs, Penne, J-Mo, Laporta. Like that's the core. The core is not Lopez, Montgomery. You know what I mean? It's killer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's just this is bound to happen, and Green Bay did wind up losing Rashawn Gary, which is kind of a hit for them. But we'll see how their offseason. I haven't really been paying too much attention here and there, but yeah. So I mean, everyone suffers some losses, but it's not. I'm not panicking about this stuff. It's just football, baby. It's football, baby. But
it is.
We're getting into this now. We're paying more. I'm paying more attention to the Lions now than I have in the last 20 years. But I'm just being facetious. But it's just like, people are getting more into it now. They're seeing the ups and downs, the highs and lows of it. People are having weird reactions. That's just part of NFL fandom. But I have a few more names we can go over. As far as some of the additions and subtractions on the Lions. Now we got as of sudden depth issues at tackle following Decker's release. Detroit brought in former Bears tackle. We just talked about the Bears. but they brought in Larry Borum. He's a offensive tackle. I'm not sure how he grades out, but kind of figuring along the lines. Yeah, just depth. That's what I see a lot of these moves being. He made sure to keep some. Brad Holmes did. He made sure to keep some continuity on defense by re-signing quarterback Rocky Sin for a 1-year, $4 million deal, and he brought back linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. So, just the secondary is a concern of mine.
I thought
he
did a really nice job. I thought Rodrigo obviously is a fan favorite, but I thought Rocky Sin did a really nice job. And again, cost affordable, not big. And then you look at again. The biggest news was they restructured Goff, which we knew was going to happen. Frees up an additional $32 million cap. I was explaining to my wife, and Jason was trying to help me, like how the cap works and how you restructure these deals and the signing bonuses. And she's like, that just sounds like made up. I'm like, it kind of is, right? So the salary cap is that funny money, and it's like, when does a team want to use that little extra stretch they want to use? And I think the Lions do a pretty good job of blending that with the salary cap. Former Lion, I just want to say, breaking news, Ashawn Robinson signs a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Doc's Bucks. He was obviously a nasty little draft pick that we had. Didn't work out here like we thought, but so, and then Cowboys saved $7 million in cap space trading Solomon Thomas and Osa. I'd wreck his last name. So there's still some kind of movement going on right now. We talked about it last night over text message, but the shock of the world, the reverse trade.
Yes, I want to bring that up. Max Crosby thought it was a done deal with the Ravens, and then it fell through. From what I understand, he failed a physical, and the Ravens backed out at the last minute. So it's kind of a shocker, but the Ravens did pick up Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Because I was getting conflicting reports. I heard he re-signed with Cincinnati. I'm like, wait a minute. But so Trey Hendrickson, I mean, that's a pretty nice consolation. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even a consolation prize.
That's a pretty nice consolation prize.
Trey Hendrickson thought he was coming to play with Max Crosby, and they were trying to get both of them, honestly, is what I've read, right? In the recent. So either way, it sounds like I would have personally rather had Trey Hendrickson than Max Crosby. But that's just me.
Okay. That was just kind of just some drama, just probably the big drama of free agency so far. So it's not, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy seeing a guy like with an impact like Max Crosby's a guy. A lot of Lions fans wanted. There's a lot of speculation. There's some stuff floating around. I think an Instagram post said that Crosby wanted to come here or something. But you get all that kind of crazy speculation and shit. I see stuff all the time, and I'm just kind of like, should I text this to Marker? I gotta take a minute, make sure it's not some bullshit that's some AI generated shit.
That I made.
We gotta be careful with that. Yeah, you never know. You never know these days. But getting back to Jared Goff for a second is, what's that?
I was just going to say, speaking of it real quick, AI generated, when we first started doing this podcast, I generated an AI cease and desist letter to the Detroit Fan Forum to Hitch for drinking Rolling Rock on YouTube. And for a second, he bought into it. And then, of course, he asked his wife. He was like, no, that's made up. And then it was funny. But that was when I first learned ChatGPT.
There's some fun stuff with the AI. I tell you what.
Yeah.
It might take your job, but we can have some fun. We can make some memes with it. But just as an aside to your aside, if you want to know how bad Rolling Rock is, it's actually cheaper than Pabst Blue Ribbon. So keep that in mind. It tells you what kind of guy Hitch really is and the kind of things he's willing to accept. But it's rot gut. But I mean, not that I'm not really a connoisseur of that shit myself, but whatever. Let's talk about the Lions rainy day fund. The Lions traditionally like to operate with a buffer of around 20 to 25 million during the season for emergency signings and operational flexibility. The off structure, which freed up about 32 million, combined with veteran departures, gives them enough room to cover the recent free agent signings like Mays and Borum and Pacheco, pay for their incoming draft class estimated to cost around 12.7 million, and maintain that preferred financial cushion. So, that's A+ for Brad Holmes, having flexibility to get the job done. I think that's a good sign. He can still have a little bit of room to move around and bring in these depth pieces, the rotational guys, and when the rookies come in, well, this just draft, it's going to be an exciting draft. It's going to be the draft that makes or breaks the Lions. But yeah. So we'll see how that all shakes out. We can get into, unless you had something else you wanted to talk about, Mark. I thought maybe we could get into some of the draft strategy, discuss how they're definitely going to have to be rebuilding in the trenches. Some of the guys, we had some defensive end names. I know we talked about uh, what's his name? Oh shit, what's his name? I gotta look it up.
Well, you're right on the money
Cassius
with
Howell a
this.
little bit previously.
You're right
Yeah.
on the money with this
Okay.
strategy because that's what, like we said, okay, we're not going to go out and get old guys like Bradley Chubb, and we're not going to go out and sign Trey Hendrickson. We're going to go out and make we're going to make our moves in the draft. Now, when you're looking at this year,
Yeah.
we've got, I think, a record amount of picks in this year, which we know what does Brad Holmes do with draft picks? He takes them, he flips them, he moves them all around, and we don't have to go over the
Yeah.
list of current players that he's done that to acquire, right, and how that's worked out. I know it scares people, right? Like our famous fans like to do right now, where that they don't want to wait for the draft. The draft is too cerebral for them to think about, and it's headlines, headlines, headlines. Well, you win the draft. That's how you win Super Bowls, right? Teams like the Eagles
Yeah.
draft exceptionally well, and they put this team that Super Bowl team was put through the draft, right? Blankenship,
Mm-hmm.
their whole defensive line, their safety, their free safety, everybody was drafted. Right now, do they bring in some pieces to assist? Sure, right? Broncos, look at the Broncos,
Mm-hmm.
dude. Excellent defense, all built through the draft for the bulk of that team, right?
Yeah.
Not too many teams am I going to see. So when I look at my general manager like Brad Holmes, aka number one stunner, aka Dirk Diggler, I look at him and I say to myself, this is your year right now with all of these picks and all of these open holes to go out and plug them. You've already
Yeah.
done that quietly. Look at how he rebuilt that locker room at the linebackers, right? Derek Barnes, Jack
Yeah. Yeah.
Campbell, all put together through the draft, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion is I think you're going to go out and get a tackle with your first pick, right? That's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
no-brainer pick, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. But these guys who have left, we're taking a look at some of the right tackles here. It's a glaring need, unless you want, depending on how you're going to structure this offensive line. But we are getting linked. Detroit is being linked to tackles like Monroe Freeling from Georgia or Blake Miller from Clemson at pick 17. But if you and I are familiar with Brad Holmes' draft strategy, so he might not stay at that spot. You never know; he might be moving up and down. They're also expected target interior linemen in the middle rounds to build up long-term depth on their new center, Mr. Cade Mays. So I haven't looked at too many draft boards, but is right tackle the priority? You seem to, or tackle in general, is that the priority?
I think what you're going to get in this draft is tackle, and whether you draft a guy
Yeah.
like Penny who plays left, right, at a high level in college, and then comes in and moves in and plays right. I truly think Ratledge is going to be your center for the future, right? His mullet alone perfectly lines up with the image of this team. But I think he becomes your center.
Yeah.
Obviously, Penny's your left tackle. You're going to draft your new next probably Big Ten school right tackle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I know there's a tackle coming out of Alabama too that looks to be like next level, kind of like Penny, where he's a freakish athlete. So
Mm-hmm.
expect right tackle in the draft, and then filling it in the guard position is going to be your free agencies and over your rotational guys. I know it's unfortunate, but I don't really expect to see Brad Holmes do anything more than that. I do think he's going to try and go back to defensive end at some point in this draft.
Yeah.
Earlier, you know what I mean? Like I thought for sure it was going to be tackle. Now I'm thinking it's just going to be tackle end. The way this is
now.
looking.
So you're thinking he goes. Let's just say in this scenario he stays at 17. He picks up a right tackle, maybe the guy from Georgia, what have you. someone to slot in next to Ratledge. And then you think maybe at number 50 he goes edge?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And for all the fans that are
Okay.
watching, Caden Proctor was the tackle out of Alabama. That's the one I think
Caden
he'll end
Proctor,
up.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's the one, and we talked about him, but I think that's exactly where he's going to go. Brad Holmes loves taking players from Alabama. I think that's next to Ohio State, one of
Yes.
his top schools he picks. So this has the earmarkings of
Mm-hmm.
a Brad Holmes pick, and for all the Lions fans that need to suck on the teat of the headline and they're insecure, this is not the draft you're going to love. You're going to love the production from this guy, and an old Uncle Mark is going to come back and tell you, I told you so. But when Caden Proctor is drafted, you're
Yeah.
just going to go, God damn, that's a solid dude, right? It's plug and play. Nothing fancy,
Yeah.
nothing crazy. But I think when it comes to it, high-end talent, high-end motor, just this guy is a star in the making. And he comes from a school where all
Yeah.
they do is turn out stars, pros, and linemen. So Caden Proctor, I think, is your first
Yeah.
pick. And then, I think, and when you're picking in the second with edge, I feel like that's where you're letting all those guys that had first round grades, they fall back into the second round. And we've watched teams like the Eagles successfully pick up those guys, right? And I think Brad does that this year.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. I like it. I like it. I do like it. Personally, I leaned a little bit more towards prioritizing edge, but I did like what I saw some Cassius Howell footage out of Texas A&M. I do like him, but I would not be upset with the right tackle. I think that maybe it all depends. Me personally, I wanted, Al-Qadim Muhammad and Marcus Davenport, those guys really aren't the answer. I just desperately want somebody to help out Hutch.
They're not.
I know, but so we'll see. Well, we'll see how it all shakes out in the draft. But there's also Akeem Messidor from Miami. I believe we brought him up before. Another high motor guy might fit Brad's scheme, but those guys will probably off the board by 50, unless Brad swings some crazy deals and is able to snatch him up earlier somehow. But you never know with Holmes. You never know with him. But
well, to
yeah,
your point,
I think
with all the draft picks this year, he's got
yes.
the arsenal that if he finds somebody that they see moving right in the second round and they go, dude, let's go grab him. We know he's not afraid to do that, right? He's done it before. So again, you got to know your general manager, guys. You got to look at who he is and how he does things. You've highlighted the eyes are playing so well this year and kept us grounded and said this is what Stevie Y does.
Yeah.
Right? So, we talked about it with the Tigers too, with Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch and how they're different owners. And it's like you have to realistically look at it like this, right? And when you tell me, right, I'm naming guys, you tell me that you're going to play GM and you tell me everyone you wanted is gone. We haven't even we're past legal tampering by the day to sign. And if you're a general manager and you looked at your owner and said, nah, everybody I wanted is gone, that doesn't work like that, right? Bullshit. Give me names. There's so many names out there and so many free agents, right? So, yeah. And, to me, it's going to be one of those drafts where it's going to just be trench guys. Now, again, there's still plenty of time for these guys to make moves, bring players in. I thought last year when they picked up DJ Reed, that was a nice signing. But it's going to be a fun draft this year for the Lions and the and it's just going to be good, right? He has arsenal. It's not like last year where we didn't have a lot of picks, right? Anyways.
Yeah, he's got the treasure chest. He's got the war chest, so to speak. He can definitely swing some moves. I fully expect him to. I'd be surprised if he didn't, because that's not his MO, definitely. But yeah, we can get into a little bit more. I got some names here, some possible offensive tackles, and some other guys that we could be targeting. But we got Francis Mauigoa. He's 6'5", 329 pounds. He's a massive mauling lineman with a nasty finisher mentality. He was the anchor of an elite Miami offensive line, allowing just one sack on 205 true pass sets in 2025, an elite 93.7 pass block win rate. While scouts debate whether his arm length needs to be better suited at guard, his spatial awareness and exceptionally smooth movement skills scream right tackle. Interestingly, several major mock drafts, including Fox Sports, have him landing exactly at number 17 to Detroit. He fits the grit, physical mold that Dan Campbell loves so very much. But that's an exciting prospect here. I know how good that Miami offensive line was. National championship. I mean, they didn't win, but they got to the
Yeah, they were a
they got
beast.
to the national championship based off that offensive line. Yeah, the Miami was an absolute beast last year, absolutely. But a big part of that, that would be interesting. He's not, taking something not necessarily. Yeah, just I think it'll be a good fit personally. From, what I'm reading about the guy, but did you have any thoughts on that, Mark?
No, I think that's like I said. I think when it comes from a draft standpoint, you and I are lock in step with
Yeah,
what they're going to do. I keep thinking to myself, though, we're challenging these fans to tell us who they want. I'm going to go back to this list of open free agents, and I'm going to throw a couple names out there. Would you take a guy like Calais
okay,
Campbell, defensive end?
sure.
I mean,
Would you?
consistently productive, comes from the Arizona Cardinals, a team you
Yeah,
seem to somewhat move around with. I mean, these are the type of players that I
yeah,
realistically think the Lions are going to sign, right? I don't think you're
yeah,
going to
yeah.
see Max Crosby come here. So I look at a guy like
No,
Calais Campbell and I say that's more of a Brad Holmes style player when it comes to free agency, right?
mm-hmm.
I don't see us being the team for Von Miller. I just don't. But I know
No,
that a lot of folks out there, like the Do, would definitely get a Von Miller shirt or jersey, probably a jersey shirt. He's more of a jersey shirt kind of guy. Um, so
yes,
yeah,
yes,
um,
yeah. Probably. Yeah, yeah. I dig what you're saying. I dig what you're saying. It's kind of like just more guys, just kind of plug and play kind of guys, no real big names. And that's
yeah,
pretty much that's what to expect. That's just kind of been Brad Holmes' thing. And he's had, some success with it. We want the big flashy names, I know, but that's just, Brad Holmes drafts them and then they become big flashy names. I mean, Jameer Gibbs, Amon Ross St. uh, Sam Laporta, these guys, obviously, I mean, guys that, superstars with this team. And, I can't discount, Brad Holmes' success in the draft. Absolutely not. But I got some more names. I did want to talk Red Wings and complain and bitch about the
mhm.
Red Wings. Unless you wanted to cover a little bit more about the Lions.
Well, I got a
Uh,
question for you, right? So
yes.
they're bringing back Teddy Bridgewater, right? Okay. Why not bring
Yes, Teddy
back
touchdown.
Teddy touchdown? Yeah. Why not bring back Kevin Zeitler?
Yeah.
He's available. He's a guard. He worked out
Kevin's
great here. Yeah, he's a guard. He
yeah.
was here. He left to go to Tennessee. They signed him for a little bit more money. I wish we would have kept him. Why not bring him back? Right? It's
Yeah, bring the
Rasheed
band back
Walker's.
together.
Yeah, bring the band back together. And then when it comes
Why
to edge
not?
rushers, the one name I think, like I said, Calais Campbell, or you could see something like a Cameron Jordan, right? So there's just some
Yeah.
solid kind of discounted, consistent guys to bring out here. But I
Yeah.
would take Calais Campbell over an upgrade for DJ Reader, especially for what we were paying Reader. I don't think he really
Yeah,
proved up
yeah.
to be what we wanted him to be from a productivity standpoint. So
Mm-hmm.
move on from
Yeah.
these guys,
No,
right?
that's
And
that's very fair.
yeah, so I wouldn't mind too. I've been kind of
Yeah.
clamoring for some guidance and some uh, leadership in the cornerback room, right, for cornerback depth. And I
Mm-hmm.
think a guy like Marshawn Lattimore, he's been around a while. It would
Yeah.
be a nice addition to that room. So, uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, let's see. Trust.
Absolutely. I
We
yeah,
got
yeah.
the
No
Lion
argument
Share
here.
293 says trust Brad Holmes picks. Yeah, I trust Brad Holmes picks. Again, who
Yeah.
are you comparing this guy to? Who are you upset about? What picks did you not like? What would you have done in that situation, right? People
Yeah.
are bringing up Tesla. Let me tell you right now, with Khalif Raymond moving out of the way in the wide receiver room, expect a bigger year for Tesla. Wait, so
Yeah.
just wait, right? Like calm the calm down. Whatever. You're right. Don't get mad about
Yeah,
this.
he'll get some more targets. I mean, come on. You see what the guy can do. Don't worry about the hate.
Yeah.
Let's not focus so much on the haters. Let's be happy and positive. We our destiny is in front of us. Brad Holmes is a good GM, good, maybe even a great GM, depending on who you ask. Yes, exactly, Mr. Chappelle. Yeah, but let's transition to the Red Wings, if you don't mind.
I don't.
I just blurb I want to talk about.
We
Yeah,
got someone in the
I
comments.
figure we spent about
March
40 minutes on the Lions.
Red Wings kryptonite.
Yes, apparently the other night against the Florida Panthers, I was going to cover it, but I guess I'll cover it now. Not much to report. You know, the good game they took the lead, you know, kind of late in the game, kind of on the second period. It was 2-1 that I believe it was tied. No, they were leading 3-2, 90 seconds left in the game. And they let up two goals to lose in the final seconds of the game. Absolute kick in the balls in the game. So some of the Red Wings fans I know were texting me about it, and they were very upset about it. I was listening to it on the radio, and I was just kind of like, are you fucking kidding me here? Because sometimes I tune into the Wings games. I don't always have time. I'm busy with other stuff, but I like to tune in when I can. You know, I like the radio. I don't really have a sports package to watch them, or sometimes I go to the bar or whatever. But I was watching them tonight. You know, I tune in sometimes, and there's good stuff happening. But that's just one of those nights. I'm just like, I swear to God, I jinxed them. Because not more than 2 minutes after I first tuned in, they scored the first goal to tie the game, and then a few seconds after that, it was done. But people are pissed off about that. But the Red Wings have been hit by the injury bug. It's very disappointing. But I will say they did blank the New Jersey Devils a couple nights ago, and Jonathan Gibson looked very good. But we'll talk about Jonathan Gibson in a minute. Let's talk about Dylan Larkin. He is day-to-day. The lower body injury, I believe it's his leg. He went out on March 6th and is expected to be out until at least March 12th, so that's tomorrow. So he should be back in the lineup. That's good, Dylan Larkin. Gotta love the guy beating hard of this team. But John Gibson is also day-to-day. He suffered a shoulder stinger in early March against the Nashville Predators. He was pulled from the game, and his status is being monitored closely. So it seems Cam Talbot's going to get more of an opportunity to hopefully not suck and hopefully be a solid backup and keep these guys in these games.
There's a lot of Cam Talbot hate. I'm telling you right now, I saw it all over social media. So much Cam Talbot hate. And it was like you have these people that I kind of respected as Red Wings fans, and I go, do I have to take this serious, or is this just like?
Yeah, he's been rough. And it's been a little bit of a, I mean, we lean so heavily on John Gibson, but I'm trying to, there's been some good Red Wings tandems, and John Gibson had a rough start to the year. That first couple seasons, people were just what the fuck are you doing, Stevie? What the fuck are you doing? But John Gibson's really turned it around. He had a dominant December, dominant January, and he's been solid for us. But he's been hit by the injury bug. That's one of those things. But yeah, it's just one of the things. I can't really think of the last really good Red Wings goaltending tandem. At least not not recently. I've obviously had yeah. We had Hasek and Cujo and Ozzy and what was that dickhead's name? Matty Legacy. We had those guys back in the 2000s.
Yeah.
We had an embarrassment.
Yeah,
we had an embarrassment of goaltending riches back then. But yeah, he's one of the unsung guys on the Red Wings. But
it's kind of a knock on the Wings, man. Is this just you haven't seen any good goaltending since then, right? And you give this Hermdo guarantee. It's kind of funny. You give a Hermdo guarantee that we're going to make the playoffs, and there's no haters. There's no Red Wings haters. I'm starting to find this out. There just isn't Red Wings haters.
Yeah.
You just a bunch of sicko fans.
There's Steve Eiserman haters, but there are some Steve Eiserman haters.
You're right. Good
so
call.
You got to watch out for those guys. But
yeah,
I mean, I've maybe I criticized him a little bit as well, but I'm not. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm trying to be a positive mindset. It could be worse. But Andrew Kopp is also hurt. He's our center on the third line. He's day-to-day with lower body injuries at the injury report. As of yesterday, March 10th, now David Perron, newly signed left winger. We remember David Perron. He was on here for a couple of years before. We just grabbed him back from the Senators. He has a groin injury. He is
Of
on the
course.
IR. It's retroactive to late January. He is expected to be out until at least March 21st, which is about 10 days from today. So hopefully we'll be able to keep our heads above water. Larkin's coming back. Hopefully this thing with John Gibson resolves itself. Cop has been great for us this year. That's another big loss, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, well, tell me right
Again,
now,
there's other
you've done this
instances.
before. Whose stock is up and whose
Mhm.
stock is down with the Wings? You did a really nice couple those videos, and they got a lot of love. So tell me, who's up, who's down?
Yeah. I would say Cop is. I would say before his injury. I mean, Cop is up definitely. DeBrincat is up. He's having a really good season. He's been the most consistent goal scorer. He's going to hit the 40-goal mark this year. Does exactly what we signed him to do. Hopefully, we signed him to a longer-term contract. I do like the guy. Patrick Kane. Now, I complimented Patrick Kane a little in the stream a few weeks ago. I got called out for it. I looked at some of his numbers. He's technically the Wings are better when he's on the ice, but he's slowing down. You can obviously tell he's in his late 30s now. He's unk. He's unk
He's
too,
unk. Yeah, that's
unfortunately.
true. You're right.
But yeah, but you see a guy. If the Wings definitely, this is Patrick Kane's last hurrah. He goes back to Chicago on some sweetheart veterans minimum deal, but he's not going to be a Red Wing past this year. But thanks, Patrick. He had some great memories. We saw a little bit of the Showtime. We recalled some of the Chelsea Dagger days. I do like Patrick Kane. I do respect him, even though he was a Blackhawk for a long time. But kind of like the Chris Chelios thing. But it's just one of those things. But Moritz Seider's another guy. Absolutely incredible season. People are bringing him up in the Norris conversations a lot. He's been quietly excellent. He's the workhorse of the team, 25 to 27 minutes a night on these shifts. He buffs his ass for us. He was a workhorse on that Germany team. The guy just does everything you could possibly ask him to do. Guys like Marco Kasper, I would like to see a little bit more from him. He had a period during the season. He was just about a month. What was it? 38 games, 39, where he didn't score. I don't think he scored a goal. I think he had a couple of assists, but he didn't score a goal. But he's been kind of muted this season, but hopefully he kind of bounced back a little bit because I do like Marco Kasper. I think he's a good center for this team, and I do hope that whatever happens with Andrew Kopp and some of the other guys down the center. I hope that Marco Kasper, even those guys fill out the second or third line, be like a middle six guy, or maybe not middle six guy, but being like a good third line kind of guy. But we also have who else? Let me think. Lucas Raymond, he's been really good for us this year. I don't know. I mean, people call him the superstar. I kind of pump the brakes on that a little bit, but he's still a point game guy. He's still your best winger on the team. He's probably Yzerman, besides Moritz Seider, Yzerman's best draft pick since he's been here. He just produces. He's been good for us. But Axel Sandin Pellikka, another young guy here, kind of dude. I mean, granted, he didn't have very good defensive pairings. He was stuck on the bottom pairing defenseman. He had to work with Justin Holl and Travis Hamonic, and adding Justin Falk to this team. That it helps Axel Sandin Pellikka because he was on the second line for a while, but he just doesn't quite. He's not quite there yet. He needs some more seasoning. But it'll be an opportunity for him to get some time on the third line with some of the other guys. But we'll see how that goes. It'll probably they got Jacob Bernard Docker. He's been solid. But yeah, those are some of the movers in the shaker. Some guys I would buy stock in, and some guys I probably wouldn't. Ben Sherratt, I'll just say one thing about Ben Sherratt. A lot of people were pissed off that he got re-signed, but I think he's going to be – he's a solid physical defenseman. He's not flashy. He has no offense to his game, but he's a good net front presence. He's a good presence in the locker room, and I like the deal. I was kind of like, oh, really? Ben Sherratt, because people were just like, oh, what the fuck? He was a cast off from the Canadians, and Yzerman brought him in, but he's been solid as a rock for us. I do like Ben Sherratt. So those are some of my happy thoughts. So, but let's talk about some of these guys they're bringing in. Sebastian Cossa, a highly touted goaltending prospect, one of the best prospects in the league as far as goaltending is concerned. He keeps getting reps. He's been last week. He got the call up to Grand Rapids, but he's having a monster season in the AHL. Or no, he's reassigned back to Grand Rapids. I'm sorry. He was called up under emergency conditions on March 4th. Sorry. I got to pay more attention. Hermdo doesn't know what he's talking about. But
well, Hermdo,
he's
the
having a
dude wants to
monster
know if
season in
we're
the
ever going to
AHL.
see him take over in net.
Next year, definitely. He's got 24. That's a Hermdo guarantee. Sebastian Cosa, I mean, he'll probably be behind John Gibson next year because I think the Cam Talbot experiment is over with.
Please.
Cam Talbot will go down like Ville Husso, all these other guys, Alex Nedeljkovic, just these guys that got brought in and just kind of stunk it up. But Alex Nedeljkovic did kind of resurrect his career with the Penguins, and he actually did resign, but he just couldn't fit. He didn't fit into the wing system. But that's neither here nor there. I'm just info dumping. But Kokosa posted a 24-4-3 record in the AHL, 1.99 goals against average, and a 927 save percentage with 5 shutouts. So he's definitely going to be getting some time in the big leagues very soon. Probably not this season, though. Michael Branstad-Nygaard recalled in emergency conditions on March 7th, stepping in after Larkin's injury. Now, we're probably, with Larkin coming back in the lineup tomorrow, we're probably not going to see him. I don't know what I have not looked at the wing schedule in a little bit, but so I'll have to look that up, see when exactly we're going to be sliding him in. But Branstad's probably going to be, he's going to be one of those guys. But also, we also brought a bunch of people up today. We brought up John Leonard, who had some time with the big club earlier this season, Sheldon Dries, and Edwards Trollmax to reinforce alongside fellow recent call-up Dominic Shine. So we got a lot of AHL guys in the lineup. Let's take a look at some of these projected lines with Larkin, Kopp, Appleton, and Rasmussen. I'm not sure about Appleton and Rasmussen. I know Edmondson was down for a little bit, but you got to be, I'm trying to pull this data as best I can. But anyways, line 1 will probably be Alex DeBrincat, JT Compher, and Lucas Raymond. JT Compher has kind of had up and down time with the Wings, but with Andrew Kopp, those are 2 of your best centers being out. So, JT Compher gets the big look. Then line 2, James Van Riemsdyk, who's been solid for us. Marco Kasper, who's kind of been quiet. And then you got Patrick Kane. So you can kind of, it's a little bit that's the old folks line. We got James Van Riemsdyk, Patrick Kane. Ironically, the number 1 and number 2 picks, the Unk line. We'll call it the Unk line. But we got James Van Riemsdyk and Patrick Kane. Ironically, interestingly, the number 1 and number 2 picks in the 2007 draft, which was 19 fucking years ago. But then line 3, we got Emmett Finney, who's been up or down, mostly down. Then we got Sheldon Dries and Michael Branstad-Nygaard, who had time with the club earlier this season, but just couldn't quite keep pace. And then on their bottom line, we got John Leonard, Edwards Trollmax, and Dominic Shine. Projected defensive pairings, we got Ben Sherratt with Moritz Seider. We got Albert Johansson with Justin Falk. And we got ASP with Travis Hamonic and Jacob Bernard Docker floating around. But the starter is, as of right now, we'll see what happens with John Gibson, but the starter is Cam Talbot. He'll be getting a heavy workload. And Sebastian Cosa was here for a cup of coffee, and then he went back down to AHL. So I'm a little bit worried because we have a critical
Lightning and Stars
kind of road
Next
trip coming up. Yes. We're facing the Stars. The Stars are a powerhouse. They're a wagon in the West. They're one of the best teams.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the Avalanche, they would be the best team in the West. But Stars are an absolute powerhouse this year. I think they're going to absolutely tear the team a new asshole. I don't know if I want to Hermdo guarantee that, but I think the Wings might be in a little bit of trouble here. I don't want to make too many Hermdo guarantees because I'm going to look really stupid if they wind up blowing this again. And then all the Wings haters will be right. Not to hear about it for another fucking year.
You already got them winning the playoffs. You already got them getting out of the first round?
I've got them winning round 1.
Round 1, yeah.
Winning round 1.
And I'll tell you what, we've got a new fan in the chats that doesn't even have the Lions winning. He's got them winning 5 games next year. So I just want to call that out. I want to thank you for joining, Mr. Joseph Murdoch 8365. But I had that
Yeah.
that stopped me dead in my tracks when I saw 5 games. 5 games. That's
Jesus Christ.
dude. I did not
There's
realize.
haters, and then
Holy
oh man,
shit! I did
oh
not
man,
realize. I did.
that
I
is
just.
insane.
That's nuts, man. And again, Red Wings fans,
Yeah.
they love it. Hey, it's going to be a tough road ahead. They got this. Lions fans, you're going to win 5 games. It's like, whoa. Whoa.
Whoa,
I
Nelly,
think
that's
the only
so
true
hardcore
hardcore
hating.
realistic fans right now
Wow.
are Pistons fans in the city of Detroit.
Yeah. They've had a little rush stretch too, losing 4, then they smacked around the Nets. That
Oh my
game
God.
against the not yeah.
That
Well,
game
that
last
23
night.
point lead and they shit their pants. Yeah.
Well, that game was terrible, and I'll tell you, they just started playing soft. And
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said,
Yeah.
JB Bickerstaff is going to slap these boys around, and they're going to have to reset the tone. And I'm going to tell you right now, it showed in that Brooklyn game, dude. Like that was
Yeah.
over in the first quarter. Like that was over. That game was over,
Mhm.
and it wasn't coming back. The way they were playing, they were just playing so angry, so pissed. It was like, okay, someone challenged you and you
Yeah.
answered it. Yeah, dude. The dude says, "Damn, I'm not
Yeah.
even that bad." Yeah, you're right. You are not even a 5-game. Like I really want to know how you think we're only going to win 5 games next year. Right? That's crazy.
With this schedule,
That's what
does
I'm saying.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and J-Mo have heart attacks or something? Did Jared Goff have explosive diarrhea and die or something? What
Just
is that coming from?
there's a whole. I'm telling you, it's perplexing, dude. I'm not even trying to do shtick. I'm not even trying to get people riled
Yeah.
up. It blows my mind how many people just don't trust Brad Holmes. They trust everybody else. They
Yeah.
just don't trust Brad Holmes, Yeah.
I don't know. It's still a winning season. Still, there were some highlights from last
Right?
season. That would have been, imagine having that season of like 2005. We would have been talking about it for 20 years.
Yeah.
But it was a mediocre season. One kind of, one mediocre season, and everyone's just like on the fuck Brad Holmes express.
Yeah, they
I
want him
don't get
dead.
it.
I don't
get. There's
get
like
it
no
either.
forgiveness. I don't get it, man.
No.
I don't. I mean, am I missing something? I mean, is Brad Holmes on Epstein Island or something? What's the deal with this guy?
That's what I don't get, right? Was he behind? Yeah, well, we promised we wouldn't get into that topic today.
Yeah.
I got
Sorry.
close. Oh, I got close. I was gonna say something else way worse than that. But yeah, I just don't get it, right? He's had 1 or 2 drafts that just haven't proven out to have all studs, but again, he's the new benchmark when it comes to football right here in Detroit. And what they've done is kind of put us on the map for the first time ever. Like the Barry stuff was on accident. You got Barry Sanders that's just so happened to work.
Yeah.
This has been, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Again, you told me not to get into the haters, but I'm telling you, I could not resist reading that. It was like so distracting when I saw 5 games at best. And I'm pretty sure last year too, I said it was going to be a 9 or 10 win team. Like nothing came out of my mouth about like, oh, it's Super Bowl. We're going to, 15 games again. It was like, no, we're going to be lucky if we can get about 9 or 10 wins, which whatever. It's silliness.
We're keeping things in perspective here, but some people just, you can't talk to them. They're like gone. They're just like, their brains are just cooked, man. I don't know. I try to be, I'll criticize my teams when they deserve to be criticized. I criticize the Tigers. I criticize all the teams. Some of the moves, and I kind of agree, when Brad Holmes, the whole Zadarius Smith drama. Now, he kind of won that one out in the end because Zadarius Smith retired.
He did.
Some of the stuff he was saying about, like, the whole we good thing, that kind of bothered me. Just I didn't want him to be like one of those guys that starts buying into his own hype, a little bit. I think this was a humbling season for Brad Holmes, and I got to believe he's grown up a bit, but he still like embraces that villain mindset. I think this will be a good draft. I think Lions fans will be happy with this draft. I think it's going to be a good draft. It's a Hermdo guarantee. We're going to get some studs in this draft. We're going to answer the tackle and defensive end issues. We're going to take care of business. Brad Holmes is going to have a good damn draft this season. I think it'll be an A draft. I'll just say that. But yeah.
Well, I won't miss Josh Pasquale, that's for sure. What do we have? We got someone in
Yeah,
the chat
fuck 'em.
saying, I'm saying 9-8 or 10-7 for the Lions this season. Okay, hey, that works. That's a respectful prediction. I'm not saying that this is going to be a one-loss season, right? Like that's a respectful position. And
Yeah.
I'll probably be able to give you my prediction once I see how this roster plans out, right? So let's just wait and see.
Yeah.
I
Let's
will
see that.
say,
Let's
I will say though,
yeah.
drop the Max Crosby bullshit. He is probably
Yeah.
gonna
Let's
stay in Vegas.
probably stay in Vegas at least for a little while. But let's all temper our expectations. I mean, this could be. I think that they could. I think at the high end, maybe 11. At the absolute high end, probably 12 wins. I looked at the schedule. I only see I don't see that many guaranteed losses, but I still think they could put together, kind of match some of the success they had in 2023. I still think there's a lot of positives with this team, but I want to keep things in perspective. I mean, I don't think they're going to be world beaters next year. You can't expect 2024 every year, obviously,
Nope.
but yeah. So I'll remain positive, and we'll see how this free agency period shakes out. We'll see what else Brad Holmes decides to add, and that could change up the draft strategy. This stuff is all in the air. We got the draft coming up. I don't know the exact date, but it's coming soon. It's coming soon. It'll be our little springtime party, but we do plan on covering that. I will be in Mark's house. I'll be eating his food. I'll be screaming at him. But yeah, that should be fun. But yeah, I mean,
outside smoking cigarettes, trying to figure out how to get in the house.
Yeah. He'll be sending us videos on his phone with 3 pixels on them where he's just like, oh. So
awesome
we got,
was
man, that's funny.
How awesome was that?
That was hilarious. That was incredible. 2 minutes of Hitch, not even a minute and 30 seconds of Hitch, just glitching out and buffering on the screen. And I couldn't understand anything he was saying. He kept getting cut off, and I just saw the plume of smoke. I'm just like, yes, he's smoking. You can't have a Detroit Fan Forum stream without smoke coming out of Hitch's mouth.
Oh, it's
but it was just
24/7.
It kind of blows my mind he was actually here. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
God damn it. That's a highlight of my week.
It makes sense, right? It was the most boomer thing that could have happened to this podcast. And it was brought to you by Hitch. Yeah, he
by Hitch.
It's just funny. I love it. He's getting closer. I told him he's like a white-tailed deer, right? You are so predictable to figure out when it's going to happen. So as we get closer to the NFL draft, right, you're going to get glimpses of it. Just like if you've done any type of hunting, right, you'll notice that you'll start seeing tracks, you'll start seeing movement, scratches, rubs, right? The animal starts to get dominant over its spot for its mating season. And this is what happens when he goes out. He shows up, he gets all excited, he starts, digging in the dirt, peeing all over stuff, getting excited for the draft. He's a draft junkie. That's what he does. And then after the draft is over, he goes and hibernates and he lays down and he just sits there and just, sits in his garage and smokes and drinks and says, let me marinates, right? And then you get a little preseason for him. You get a sample of preseason of Hitch. Opinionated as all hell, and then disappears for the first 5 games, and then it's just good luck. And that's it. That's his.
Who knows?
That's his movement pattern, right?
Oh, that's funny though. God damn it! But hopefully we'll see more of Hitch soon. Hopefully he can, like I said, get a phone made in the last 25 years and
would be nice.
Join us again. It's always a pleasure to see Hitch. Hitch, we love you, buddy. We make fun of you. We call you an Israeli, but we still love you.
You're the only one that's tried to podcast
Lord
through the newspaper. Just doesn't work that way, buddy. So.
Yeah. He is filming on a literal potato, a potato with a little lens on it. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
exactly.
Oh my god.
Well, hey.
Oh my lord. It's all good. It's all good.
So Hermdo, do you have any bold predictions right now?
Yes.
What do you think's going to happen in the next couple of days with the NFL? Is there anything that you want to get off your chest? I mean, we've been at it for about a buck 10.
Yeah, we've been at it for a while. I think I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, there's really. I think I pretty much said what I needed to say. I mean, I don't. There's not going to be a big free agency move. There's not going to be a big blockbuster deal. If there is, you never know what Holmes could pull off. Maybe he decides to send a few draft picks and pick up a big name. Maybe, but no, I gotta believe like Max Crosby's pretty much just not in the cards. But you never know. It just seems like some of the moves he's been making, bringing in the new center, bringing in Isaiah Pacheco, bringing in
Yep.
the other guys, like the other kind of prove it guys on their deal. Looking at some of the budget moves he's been making, doing the restructuring. Now he could be clearing cap space for something. I don't know. Maybe he does bring somebody in, but because Goff, like I said, freed up $32 million of cap space by restructuring his deal. But I don't know. Probably just going to be getting more depth pieces. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I've been looking at some of the rumor lines, paying attention to some of the draft boards, but I think the Lions are just going to kind of take more of a conservative approach this year. I think they'll be filling needs. I think it'll be a good draft. I think, things are looking up for the Lions. I think they'll have a good season next season, kind of a bounce back season, maybe win a few more games, and maybe I don't know. I mean, looking at our division, I mean, seeing what the Bears do, seeing what the Packers do, I don't know. I mean, I haven't paid much attention to their. I mean, I know we brought up, Rashawn Gary, DJ Moore, some of the secondary guys on the Bears, and some of the stuff that's been happening with the quarterback situation in Minnesota. Who knows what's going to happen with JJ McCarthy if they're going to bring in Kyler Murray or Tua Taglio, concussion boy. But we'll see where that goes. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they have two lefties. They got Michael Penix and Tua Tagliabue.
Yeah. And they signed him. That was weird because they drafted Michael Penix after they signed Kirk Cousins, and that was kind of like okay, but
who just got
that obviously didn't work out for him. But
$100 million.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, poor Kirk. At least he got his money. That's one thing. That's one thing.
He got paid.
But yeah, he sure did. Well, that's one thing you can really look for. Millions of memories, baby. But he's also a Spartan, so I hate him. But yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for me. Go Lions. Go Red Wings. Please don't fuck up in March again, Red Wings. Please get your shit together, even though I'm kind of feeling a little bit more nervous now, considering half our lineup is in the AHL. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, listen, I want to thank you guys. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you haven't done so by now, please like and subscribe. We're going to be back live again Sunday night at 7:30. That's our typical every Sunday night we're live. And we'll be talking about Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, whatever really the main hot topic is. Maybe Hitch joins us. We have a special guest. But either way, seriously, like and subscribe. Share this. Tell all your friends. Cop in the chats. I want to give a shout out to Dan V. He's been giving us a lot of positive feedback and critique and a lot of ideas. So Dan, thank you for letting me steal a lot of your ideas. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. I guess Hermdo, I will talk to you later.
All right, see you later, buddy.